好，同学们，我们回得来的，我们是中国现在 China Now. With your gang of two, Nan Su, senior investigative reporter at the Epoch Times, Michael Olson, longtime China fan, once even dreamed in Chinese. That's getting pretty Chinese. So today we're going to start off with a look at President Donald J. Trump's recent successes. They've been coming so fast and so furious that sometimes they flow right on by, and we just kind of miss them. And one of them that might have flown on by was chronicled in Epoch Times in a story about how President Trump has told reporters, kind of like an off-the-cuff, hey, by the way, we signed a trade deal with China. You know, he said to the press, we're starting to open up China. Things that never could have happened.
No, I don't think that's the full trade deal.
Well, that's what he said with the trade deal.
Well, I think it's only about rare earth.
Oh, well, that's what I wonder. Now, here's the interesting thing about this new trade deal that Donald Trump signed. I do believe that it did include rare earths. Okay.
It's a trade deal, but okay. Let me clarify. What I mean it's not the whole tariffs deal.
That's correct. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the whole tariffs deal. It's a trade deal that specifically will solve the problem of rare earths. Of course, in order to buy all these rare earths from China, we have to loosen up a bunch of other restrictions
Sure.
for allow.
We don't even
China
know how to
buy.
process it, probably, and don't have the facilities to process it, and on and on and on. But at any
Yeah.
rate, a reporter from the Epoch Times asked President Trump, well, what's in the trade deal? And he said, well, I can't really tell you, and moved on. Now, that he was so excited about telling the press about this trade deal, and then, well, I can't really tell you what's in it. Why can't he tell you what's in it?
Well, I think that there was a lot of things it's going to impact the tariffs deal, right? The tariffs deal is still under negotiation, and that's some of the deal in this trade deal, some of the things written in this trade deal, it's probably as a condition for them to move further into the tariffs deal, and maybe and they kind of are tied to each other. I would say if the trade deal cannot be reached, then they will come back to cancel some of this trade
Yeah.
deal, possibly.
Well, and that's why I wanted to address the rumors about the rest of the things that were in the trade agreement that Trump just agreed to with his representatives in Stockholm, I believe it was. So the first one, so there was 4 agreements that they made, and you talked about one, which of course was the rare earths.
Yep.
So that is, they signed off on the United States should get the CCP's rare earths. So that is one of the contingencies. That's it. Another one, and you're going to blow your mind with this, China agrees to have a reciprocal market access for both China and U.S. businesses, finances, and press. Do you see China opening up and giving free access to U.S.?
No, I don't think so, because whoever believes that it's a useful idea.
Okay. A useful idea come up with these. Well, they keep coming, though. Listen to this one.
Well, think about this. Those things have been agree and agree and agree again and again in the past quarter century.
Uh-huh.
I mean, ever since we allowed China to join WTO back in 2001, you
Making
know,
agreements and they're
it
breaking
used to
them.
be a negotiation. It's called the U.S.-China Trade and Human Rights Strategic Negotiation. Those things have been going on for decades, never go anywhere. I mean,
We agree to them, but
well,
that's
we
it.
agree to them because we have to get some rare earth,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, in the past, it's like we have the wishful thinking and also that as well as the pendulum. Now we don't have the wishful thinking of the how to change the
Yeah.
CCP anymore. We put this pendulum aside. We realize the pendulum in the past cost too much. Now, of course, the reason we're willing to make a deal with China is only because we want the rare earths. But of course, they want during the negotiation, they gave us a rare earths, then we gave them something. I
Well,
don't know
that's
what.
not all, that's not the only thing they're going to give us because in addition to rare earths and then reciprocal market access, so they can have TikTok here and we can have X there, and
Yeah,
both would be free. Uh-huh.
I don't care if
Ye-
access goes to China. I
Okay.
mean, me and Elon Musk, we don't live the same, we don't live in the same world. He
Okay.
goes to China, he will be greeted by the top leader, if not Xi Jinping, but somebody else, somebody in the top
Sure.
leadership circle. I go China, I'll go straight to jail. So.
There you
I,
go.
I don't care about if X actually goes to China.
Okay.
Who
But
cares?
it's a reciprocal market, and that was
Well,
that was
I
the
don't think
agreement.
it's going to be
You
reciprocal.
don't
I
quite
think
believe that
it's
one.
just another big lie.
Well,
But we
here's
have to,
another big lie.
oh
The
yeah,
other
then we have
thing,
to believe it just because we have to have a rare earth.
yeah. Well, here's the other big lie, perhaps. China and the U.S. agree that both American and Chinese businesses will be treated equally in
Yeah,
China.
right. Yeah, right.
So this is the wonderful rumor. But the rumor also said that the reason Trump is not talking about what's in the bill was when Xi Jinping heard about it, he said, "This is the most foolish thing I've ever seen in my life. Over my dead body."
Really?
That's the rumor. But
Okay.
but it's a pretty interesting setup. Who knows if it's
Well,
really?
he has not died yet.
He has
And
not died yet.
that basically tells you that's a lie.
Yeah. But it's a pretty good story. I thought that why hasn't President Trump told us what's in the deal? I
Well, I
mean,
think
if
it's just the kind of like a title, it's tariffs. Realistically, I think that's what it is. There are things that we have to, we screw up big time on the rare earth ever since
we
1992.
certainly did.
Yeah, so now they have something that we want and we have to have. So it will take, I don't know, I hope it's not going to take a whole generation for us to be independent from China's rare earths. But no matter how quick we're going to get those things, I think you will just have to give away something to in return for
For
exchange
the rare
of
earths,
rare
yeah,
earth.
because we need them. And
Yep.
China knows we need them. And we have something that China needs too, which is our money.
Well, say they need the semiconductor chips from NVIDIA, right?
Yeah,
They want us to lose some control to certain level, and also there are certain chemicals that's the product of oil they need from us. I think it's for making plastic. We talk about that. I forgot
yeah,
the name already.
yeah.
It's a,
There you
it's a
go.
pretty hard to remember name. Uh, so things like that. So we have to deal with them. It's just because we didn't really, uh,
Right.
it's just the price we need to pay for the panda love.
There it is. For our mistake, for our falling in love with pandas. Sent to us by Mao Zedong and his good comrade Zhou Enlai.
Yep.
And here, to have these pandas. And we fell in love with the pandas. And we fell in love with the possibility of bringing China into the world like we came into the world. We were going to make a brand new democracy out of China. Never did quite work. But we sure built a country for them really quickly, which is amazing stuff.
Yeah,
So,
we built their real industry.
yep.
Rare earth industry. We built their rare earth industry, and now they control it. And then they use it as a weapon. They weaponize their rare earth industry.
There it is. Well, okay. Xi Jinping was the one who really focused China on building that rare earth industries, or maybe it was Deng Xiaoping as well. He was talking about it.
Yeah, well, Deng Xiaoping was the one who started. You remember, it's the famous quote from Deng Xiaoping. That's one of the most famous line from him. He said, "The Middle East has oil and we have rare earths." That's what was saying by Deng Xiaoping in 1992. That's how the whole thing started.
So they were aware of it. Everybody was aware of it, but we weren't acting on it. We were totally smitten with it.
They are 30 years. They're 30 years ahead of the game.
Yeah. All we need to do is buy it from China. What's wrong with that? There you go. Except everything is wrong with that. Well, let's look into these rumors that are swirling around Xi Jinping that he's out. All of his power has been taken away. He's a mere caretaker. He's stumbling around kind of oblivious. Doesn't look very good. So is this the end of Xi Jinping? So there was an a good article in the Washington Post and the Epoch Times and a number of different publications detailing the rumors that are swirling about. And so I thought, may as well dig into them and figure out if this is true or not, because it is us and our conflict with the chairman of everything, Xi Jinping. So the first thing that caught my attention, Nan Su, is that Hu Jintao appears to be back on the scene, if maybe just in the back room or whatnot. But a lot of people...
I didn't see any news showing his face, though.
I haven't either. Like I said, he's back in the back room because a lot of people are mentioning his name. Now, Hu Jintao was involved in one of the most memorable video clips that I've seen since Tiananmen Square, I guess, almost, in which Xi Jinping, at the People's Congress, directed his assistants to throw him out of the room. They drug him away. The former chairman and president of the CCP was drug out physically in front of everybody. And that Hu Jintao could possibly even have his name mentioned right now is pretty indicative of the fact that Xi Jinping is losing a little bit of power in that. Your thoughts?
Well, I think that the people mention Hu Jintao, it's mainly the people outside of China. It's wherever you want to talk about it. And people want to put wishful thinking on Hu Jintao. Hu Jintao is still communist leader. I don't think he has, yeah, if he replaces Xi Jinping, China will be any different. I don't think so. Now,
so I'm going to have you follow up on that thought, Nan Su, because you recently expressed what I think you believe is your greatest fear with respect to China. So we're going to save that for the end of the piece. So if people want to learn what the real fear is here in the fact that we might be seeing the end of Xi Jinping, you have to stay and listen because Nan Su's going to lay it out for us. So don't go away. So anyway, Hu Jintao back on the scene just indicates to me that that Xi Jinping threw him out on his butt in public the way he did. I don't think that Xi Jinping would be allowing him even in the back rooms if that's where Hu Jintao is hiding out. At any rate, that's one of them. The other principle that seems to be very blatantly out in public is General Zhang Youxia. And now Zhang Youxia had a big falling out with Xi Jinping, and it was after the last Congress when Zhang Youxia brought the military into Beijing and closed it down. And in closing it down, prevented any kind of rebellion against the fact that Xi Jinping was going to go for his presidency for life certificate from the CCP. And that's when they voted him another 5-year term. And I think we're probably, halfway through that term by now?
Yeah, it's halfway, yes.
Okay. So Zhang Youxian made that possible by essentially blockading Beijing. Nobody could move anywhere until this decision had been made. And Zhang Youxian was hanging around like General Patton with a 6-shooter on his side and whatnot, and running the show. But after that, they had a major falling out. Now, do you know what that was all about, Nan Su?
Well, I don't see that happen. Well, there's a lot of rumors which I
Yes,
don't
there are.
see.
That's what we're dealing in right now.
I don't see any evidence. Those rumors can be based on. So I'm just watching. How this rumor grow every day, as you do. We're just watching it. We don't know what's going on over there. It's a black box.
Mm-hmm. And it's always been that way, has it not?
It's always been that way, but however, now let me remind everyone, those rumors came out before Xi Jinping visited Kazakhstan. And then the rumor said they arrested Xi Jinping. But then 2 weeks, after they say Xi Jinping was arrested, Xi Jinping went as a state head of a Communist Party in China, visit Kazakhstan.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then also Xi Jinping talked to Trump on phone right after the rumor saying he was arrested.
Right.
Right. So, there's all kind of these rumors. People get exciting. I'm not excited anymore. I'm just watching look at just what's going on.
It's,
Who cares?
and
Unless there's a revolution, I'll be excited if there's a revolution to throw out, the Communist
Sure.
Party. I'm not exciting anything about reform. I think that, if anybody
save that for the end of the show, because
Okay.
it's a very important fact that we all should be very much aware of as we listen to all of these rumors, as we talk about them, as we speculate about them. And what if something good does happen that, let's say, we get what we want in Beijing? Ooh, that's the worst of all. So stay tuned. We're going to pick that up at the end of the show. Zhang Youxia seems to be the guy that's on everybody's film or video from China. He seems to be in China's news. And the other thing that's really puzzling is that Xi Jinping is not in the news anymore.
Well, Xi Jinping, he didn't come to the BRICS meeting, that's for sure. Except the Li Qiang is coming, right? The Prime Minister Li
Hmm.
Qiang is coming to the brick building. I'm sorry, brick meeting. The BRICS meeting in Brazil. Again, nowadays it's almost like anything, related to Xi Jinping. Immediately there are all kind of different rumors coming out.
Hmm.
We don't know what's true or not true, but it also tells you if there are so many rumors about Xi Jinping is going to step down, then that means there's a lot of people who want to see him step down.
And that seems to be the case. It just seems to be that there, and it's not just people in the West too. Who was it? The former First Lady of Singapore. What did she say about Xi
Yeah, he
Jinping?
say something. He say something. Well, I think he openly criticizes Xi Jinping in certain way.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, but she has been considered as a good friend of CCP.
yes, very much
Um,
so. So
so we don't know what's going on in
we don't
Beijing.
know, but we can speculate because that's what's fun. You know what? It's kind of like going to a horse race. If you think about it, you're sitting in the stands. Now, if you have money on a horse, you're going to be excited because your horse might win, might lose. So you pay attention really closely. Now, if you don't have any money on the race and don't even have a favorite horse, then it's just a bunch of horses running around the track, right? So,
Well, I'm looking at the situation, and it doesn't matter which horse wins. It doesn't matter. They're all the
right.
threat of.
So that's why you have this very interesting attitude that it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It
it
just
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. Well, I'm still going to speculate with you
Okay.
because that's what's really fun. So we've covered Hu Jintao, Zhang Youxia. So she is in poor health and likely to retire at the CCP plenary session this August, maybe take a ceremonial position. Do you think he could take a ceremonial position given all of the people that he has dispatched?
Well, it depends. He could, but it's not really well, I think if he truly had a health problem that he cannot continuously to perform,
Yeah.
then he may take some positions that will, well, he will, I think most likely he's probably want to keep his position but however gave more work to be done by the six other standing committee members
Mhm.
of the CCP's political bureau.
Now,
So so
yes.
basically, right now he is like he's the head of a political standing bureau. He's the
Hmm.
head of the seven-member organization. But used to be prior to him, during Hu Jintao's era, it was nine members, and also the nine members more or less are equal. So you take in charge of certain parts. I will take in charge of certain parts, and other members will take care of it. So each one
Like
is
a
solely
corporation,
responsible for a part of
right?
the operation. And then for you don't have to report to everyone else for every little single thing you have done, but for the most important issues, you have to get the all nine members agree. That used to be the case prior to Xi Jinping. Now, when Xi Jinping came, after he's now in his third term. Now, in the third term, he pretty much make himself it's as the head of the whole organization. Everybody have to report to him. So all other six members need to report to him. Now, I think if he does have a health issue, he may kind of like keep the position as a figurehead, but since all other six members are handpicked by him, so he will have all other six members doing more work in real control. And also, he may want to see, the kind of a power struggle among them. Now, that's what the game that Chairman Mao play, and he may play the same game. So right now, it seems like Li Qiang is the prime minister. He's going to Brazil as the head of state of China to join the BRICS meeting, and after that, he will go straight to Cairo, of Egypt, to visit Egypt. And then when he go back to China, he will also be in charge. Okay, he will be also in charge on September 3rd, the military marching.
Oh.
No, hold on. Don't be excited. Okay, he's in charge, but he's not going to be the guy standing there
Okay,
waving.
so that's the big mystery that we don't really know yet, right?
Yeah, he's going to be in charge of the whole process. But Xi Jinping and Putin are going to standing there as the as the head of a state to view the whole process. But you have to have someone who actually organized the whole thing, right?
Okay, so they're
So
just
he's in charge.
Okay.
There's a guy in charge, but the Xi Jinping is still the he's going to be what he's going to do is now this is also very interesting because usually the one who is in charge of the military parade is supposed to be a military general. Now, yeah, but now they put Li Qiang, the prime minister, in charge of the military marching. So that's quite different than what happened before. So there are a lot of things going on which really promote everybody to have all different romantic thoughts.
So I think the real big question about the military parade, which is on September 3rd, I think, something like that.
September 3rd, and also that it is already reported by Japanese and Taiwanese media that Xi Jinping has at least asked Trump to attend that military parade 2 times.
Oh.
So I don't know if Trump, I hope he's not going, but because you look at that, what kind of a picture it's going to show to the world.
Yeah, sure.
Xi Jinping was standing at the center. On his right-hand side is Trump, left-hand side is Putin, and maybe farther right, farther left is Kim Jong-un, and then farther left, maybe that's Lukashenko of Belarus.
So to me, that would be not very good because
I think that
Trump would be
there's
surrounded.
a lot of American media are waiting for the picture. They're going to keep that on the headline for a whole month, maybe a whole year.
Okay, quick break. We will be right back. We're going to pick up the rumors that are more swarming around Xi Jinping. Is he going to make it through? We'll have to wait and see, but we're guessing. That's what we're doing. We're guessing. We're commentating, taking bits of news as they come out of China. Do you believe any news that comes out of China, Nan Su?
Well, it depends how you get those news, right? If it's from the state-owned media,
there you go.
You have to read them between the lines.
Okay, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
Get hooked up with affordable cannabis at your locally owned Hook outlet, where everybody above the age of 21 can participate in the Hook's loyalty program. Each purchase earns you 2% store credit on your next purchase. Get hooked up with the best cannabis at affordable prices at the Hook outlet in Capitola and Watsonville, or order online at hookoutlet.com. Get hooked up at the Hook.
Hi, folks. Warren Knox here of Knox Roofing. You know, I've been called a lot of things in my day. Just listening to the many commercials over the years, I guess you have a right to call me some names. But I do have some names to share with you that truly are important and distinguished. Names like GAF's Master Elite Contractor, Owens Corning Preferred Contractor, Duralast's Elite Contractor, Better Business Bureau's accredited A+ rating, Authorized Traeger Dealer, just to name a few. So what do all these titles have to do with you? It means when you hire Knox Roofing, you will be hiring the best in the roofing business. Quality workmanship and products with guarantees you can truly count on. So when it comes to your home and its roof, call Knox Roofing. You won't be disappointed. In fact, you just might call a name like Great Company. Okay, call Knox Roofing at 461-0634 anytime. Thanks, folks.
Save money on airfare to anywhere. Low Cost Air is the discount supermarket for all domestic and foreign airlines. A funny thing is going to happen when you call Low Cost Air. You're going to talk to a human being within 60 seconds. Save money on airfare to anywhere. Call Low Cost Air to compare at 800-704-1662. 800-704-1662.
我们是中国现在 China Now with your gang of two, Nan Su, Michael Olson, and you, which makes us a gang of three. There you go. Nan Su, when we were first went into the break, we were talking about the different kinds of rumors that are swirling around President or Chairman for Life, Xi Jinping. President for Life, Xi Jinping. So at any rate, will he survive or will he won't? Or will he be moving on in a couple of weeks or a month or so? And if he does, boy, is that ever going to change the world? Maybe, maybe not. There was, so as he disappeared here, a number of these rumors are pretty interesting. Here's one. The unnaming of Xi's father's mausoleum last month was unprecedented. So Xi Jinping built a mausoleum for his father, and the mausoleum was bigger than that of Chairman Mao or Deng Xiaoping. And he named it after his father, and then that name got dumped. Now, do you think...
Well, I'm not sure if that story is accurate.
Oh.
You know, so what happened is on the same street, they already built a mausoleum for his father. Okay. Now down the street, you know, they built another one. It's much bigger, bigger one. It's bigger one. Based on what I heard is this new one. It's going. The people say not a state from not. You know, people say people love this rumor. Say. You know, that they build a bigger one, they're going to use the bigger one to replace the older one. So, but what you end up is they call they name this new one the regional, you know, the CCP revolution regime. But his father's older one still there. But however, you know, since his father is an important figure of that history of the red communist revolution in the region, so they replaced some. They took some a lot of those materials from his father's museum to this regional museum. But however, the older ones are still there.
Huh. Well, okay, that's a rumor, and
well,
that
may be true. Then, you know, maybe they were going to demolish the bigger one and use demolish the new one, demolish the older one and use the newer, bigger one. But they somehow they changed their mind to name the regional. But whatever.
Well, here's another one what we can check out. Xi's personal protective detail has recently been cut in half. Now, what world leader would cut his own security in half if he was in charge?
How do you know that's true?
I don't. It's a rumor. I
No one
purported.
knows. Oh, these are why all these good stories. I say, it's interesting to look at so many people. Interesting to hear this story, which means how many people really hate him. But however, nobody
Nobody
is
knows.
able to verify if any bit of this story if it's true or not.
Okay. Well, let's talk about how he recently hosted Belarus dictator, Russian puppet, Alexander Lukashenko,
Yeah,
who
Lucas,
came to town.
yes.
Now, when we talked about this, you made mention that Lukashenko's son is going to school in Beijing.
Yes.
And so he's just in town to visit his son, and it's no big deal. And Putin really didn't send him to China to see if Xi Jinping is still alive or not. That wasn't the case. But when they took him out for a state dinner, they took him to some place that was not ever used before. It was one of the residents.
Okay, it's near Xi Jinping's residence,
Yes.
but it's in the leadership compound. It's a different building. Now, they didn't host him. Xi Jinping didn't host him as a state dinner because it's more like a personal visit. He was not, keep in mind, it was not a state visit. If it's a state visit, they have to do the 21 gun salute,
Right.
red carpet, and everything else, right? Now, and also keep in mind that rumor came out saying Xi Jinping was house arrested. But however, later he went to Kazakhstan to visit as a state leader. So it turned out that rumor wasn't. Well, I don't know. If there are certain percentage of truth embedded in that story, but it turned out after they say he was house arrested, and Putin sent Lukashenko to Beijing to check out if it's okay. But it turned out after that rumor, spreading around for a couple weeks, Xi Jinping visit Kazakhstan, and then Xi Jinping also called
Right.
President Trump, right?
Very good. All right.
Right, and now I think it's still. I'm still going back to. I truly believe he has some health issues.
Mm-hmm.
Now, think about this. There are certain reasons that Lukashenko goes to China, not being considered by Chinese government as a state visit.
Sure.
Now, first of all, if he goes there, he has state visit. They have to do a lot of things, right? And also, I think Beijing has been really careful in the recent years after Ukraine war started. They when Putin ever since the war started, Putin never visited China as a state visit. I don't think so. He goes to China several times, meet with Xi Jinping, all under the name of
Picking up a check.
yeah. Because maybe Shanghai economic collaboration, maybe Beijing Olympic game, or there's all other. They use all other scenarios to meet each other. But Xi Jinping did go to Russia for a state visit.
That's
But-
right.
But Beijing never wanted Putin to visit China because the whole world is going to see that Beijing
It's supporting the war.
welcoming,
Yeah,
a regime that's invading other countries, right?
that's right.
Now, I think it's for the same reason. They don't want the Belarus president to visit Beijing as a state visit. I think that they're more or less because Belarus it's really the one sticking its head with Russia on this Ukraine war issue.
Yes. That's
So
right.
I think that's another reason. And so therefore they trying to find a reason for Lukashenko to go to Beijing. And now, it just happened. Lukashenko's son is studying in Beijing. So he said, oh, yeah, I'm going to visit my son. And then at the same time,
Play some golf.
yeah, play golf and with a private dinner with Chairman Xi, that kind of thing.
There you go. Okay, I'll go along with that. That being said, the
Well, I
you,
do think
you
However, I do think Xi Jinping's health issue
is
you
a
know,
big deal.
it's a big deal, and but it's more like I'm intend to interpret all these things happening as Xi Jinping trying to have the other 6 standing committee member of the political bureau, which all of them were handpicked by himself.
Yeah.
He tried to give more power to that 6 people
Okay.
instead of someone else like Hu Jintao coming back.
Right.
So the only one who made that, make that happen is Deng Xiaoping, and which is a story. Now I don't think it's going to be repeated because the reason Deng Xiaoping had that much power was because Deng Xiaoping is one of the main leaders of Chairman Mao's generation,
Yes.
and
And Chairman Mao threw him in jail, didn't he?
He was house arrested,
House arrest,
not
yeah.
in jail, but he was house arrested for a while because he had because he's a very close ally of Liu Shaoqi, the national chairman, who was truly arrested in jail during the Cultural Revolution, and Chairman Mao. It's a power struggle between him and Chairman Mao, and Deng Xiaoping had a good relation
Yeah.
with Liu Shaoqi, and so he was a part of the deal thrown out by Chairman Mao, and then. However, in the late years of a Cultural Revolution, China has these serious economic issues Chairman Mao cannot handle himself, so he want Deng Xiaoping back. Now, once Deng Xiaoping back, then by the time Chairman Mao die, no one can stop Deng Xiaoping to take back the power. So it's a completely different story. While for the second let's say this Deng Xiaoping is the second generation leader, and Xi Jinping is the 5th generation leader. Now, Xi Jinping is the son of a second generation communist leader. It's this family business. It's like now the 3rd and 4th generation leader, like Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao, they were like the owner die very young, then you have to have somebody manage the business until the son goes up.
Sure.
The older generation boss
Caretaker.
die, and then the younger generation owner is too young, so you have this caretaker taking care of the business, right?
Yeah.
So when the younger generation grow up, and then the caretaker kind of gave the power back to him, and I don't think you can take them back. It's just very difficult.
Yeah. Well, at any rate.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out. And
in 2 months, we're going to find out.
There you go.
Because by the time, the military marching take place in Tiananmen Square, as well as whichever comes first, another event is the 4th plenary meeting, maybe in August, maybe in September, or maybe in October. By the time that happens, we're going to find out. So if it's just 2 or 3 months, we're going to we don't have to make that much guess.
I think the biggest thing to watch might just be who's reviewing the troops in the military parade on September 3rd. Whoever is standing in that convertible, driving up and down the lines of soldiers, that's going to be a huge key as to whether Xi Jinping is there or not. That's something to watch. See, I got Nan Su to agree with me. I'm on a roll here.
Well, of course. Well, see, it looks like right now, it looks like it's Xi Jinping, right? Because he is the one who invited Trump, tried to invite Trump, who is the one also tried now to invite South Korea president. And he already he already invited Putin. Putin said he's going to be there. And I don't know who else is going to be there. Now, I think there's a lot of our ally countries' leaders are going to be upset if Trump goes there. Because think about what the Prime Minister of Japan is going to think, and South Korea president, I think he wants to go, but he's kind of looking at the United States now.
You know, Donald Trump likes big things and big splashes. And boy, that would be a big splash, would it not? It would be a big deal.
I don't know if that's good for the United States.
That's an open question.
I remember back in 2008, I collected a lot of signatures, and which is to urging the George W. Bush not to go to 2008 Beijing Olympic, and he still went. And
he wouldn't listen to you.
Any U.S. leaders going to attend that military parade is going to have a good result.
Oh, okay. We have 7 minutes left, 6 minutes left. And I wanted you, if you were so amenable, to tell the story of why this scenario would not be good for the United States. Xi Jinping passes on or gets booted out of office. We get a mild-mannered guy like Wang Yang, who was a protege of Deng Xiaoping, to come in and start doing business. And we get our rare earths, and everything is going fine. And Trump ends the Cold War with China, and then everything is just fine, and we go back to our business.
Well, I think Americans need to realize, we cannot let this thing happen again. History cannot be repeated. 25 years ago, when we allowed China to join WTO, United States is a big elephant. China is a little ant or little bug. United States is like you take a little kick and get rid of the regime, or get rid of the threat. Now, 25 years later, look at what's happening around rare earth, how China become dominant. Look at how big Chinese Navy is, and the nuclear power they have, and the bioweapon system they have developed. Now, if, we went through this, we need to learn a lesson. We don't have that kind of time anymore. We are in this very short time window. We need to really use this time. This is the time only for us to strengthen our military capacity, to make our military personnel more capable of defend the freedom, defend the security and lifestyle of United States of the free world. And if we try to make a deal, go back to the same pattern again, doing everything we did again in the past 25 years, and by the time, we allow China to control everything, truly everything, they are really not much behind us. So we let them do that again.
It's over.
It is over. It is over. This is this glorious country for the United States. Or if it's not over, then we will, in the future, if there's a war that breaks out in the Western Pacific, the U.S., our military, our men and women who in service are going to pay a lot higher price to defend our lifestyle. I don't think, we just cannot, we are not afford to go back to the old pattern.
Do you think there's any possibility of the United States and China becoming that object of panda love that we all held so dear for so long?
I don't think so. I certainly hope not. I don't think we are afford to lose any time, any minute anymore. We have to use every minute and every hour to strengthen our military strengths and to make our military ready, to deter the threat, to defend the peace, to continue our lifestyle. I think that's the only thing we should consider. It doesn't matter. I mean, the only thing, with one condition, there was one condition I'm willing to change, change my stand, where I'm stand. The one condition is the dissolve of Chinese Communist Party. If the Chinese Communist Party totally dissolved and truly replaced by a democratic system, I think that will be the time we can sit down and talk to them about how we can mutually survive or mutually living in the same world. I don't think I think the result right now, as long as the CCP continue its ruling power in China,
There's
at the
no
end,
hope.
it's going to be one man standing.
It'll be
The United States or China.
Yeah. And what was it Deng Xiaoping said? Hide your strength, bide your time.
Yeah. It's like a crouching tiger, right? So
That's right.
the hidden dragon, the crouching tiger. Hide your strengths, hide your strengths, and then play. I don't know, was it play dumb or play something like just don't show your strengths to your enemy.
Hide your strength, bide your time.
By your time, yes.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Nan Su is telling us in no uncertain terms that if we do lose Xi Jinping as an adversary and some nice guy steps into the seat of power over in China, not going to make any difference because the Chinese Communist Party is the Chinese Communist Party. And what happened in the past with the two, most powerful leaders of the Chinese Communist Party were both totalitarian dictators that turned their wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Middle Earth kingdom of 4,000 years, of 8,000 years of history, they turned it in from being a magnificent country into a maximum security prison. And that's in store for us if we're not careful. And that's what Nan Su is telling us. And Nan Su, thank you for telling us that, because I think we need to be reminded it is Independence Day. Let's fight to stay independent.
Let's fight to protect the lifestyle of our future generation.
Amen.
Don't our future generation become the slave of CCP.
Thank you very much. We're out of gas.